Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about nicecon, which for anyone who's been following me for the last kind of couple of years, my local comic book shop puts on a Comicon. I want to say every year, but they couldn't for the last couple of years because for obvious reasons. But this is the Comicon that they put on once a year as a way to kind of give back to all the fans, and we get to meet a lot of, I would say, kind of like heavy hitters within the industry. And there's always some really big headliners. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of like veterans within the industry. There's a lot of relatively newcomers. There's a lot of people that are quite established. But then there's the really big stars. The last time I went, there was Donny Cates. He was, at that point, they booked him just before he became a massive star. And then suddenly, when he got there, it was everything Cates. So I was absolutely thrilled when they said, like, for me personally, the headliners would have been Sean and Jacob Phillips. And again, for anyone who has been watching along with me, or even reading when I was writing the articles for the website, I have really loved both of their artworks in their books, to the point where it was that Texas Blood that really got me on to Jacob Phillips and like really loving his art style. I sort of then wanted to New Burn, and from there, when there was the sort of the downtimes, I thought, right, I want to check out Sean, and that is obviously how I came across Reckless. Still probably one of my favorite books to date. I love that series. I've got all, I want to say 5 books over there. Still haven't read the last one, and I did actually say that to Sean Phillips today, that I'm not emotionally ready for that last book yet because of something that was said in the previous book. And he did say to me, don't worry, that's not for a couple of years yet. So I'm kind of glad of that, to be honest. So I will get around to reading it, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't, I can't remember if I said it in my videos, but hasn't read up to date, of anyone that does want to read the Reckless series. But it is something that I've absolutely loved, this series, and I cannot wait for more of it. I was very tempted to take both Reckless and the Fade Out with me, and I did again. I did spend quite a long time talking to Sean Phillips, and he did say that there was actually a prequel book that they had worked on. They just need to find a title for that to then be released. So that is going to be my next read. I need to read that before that eventually gets released. But let me talk you through the kind of things that happened. Obviously, for me personally, Sean and Jacob, that was the pinnacle of nice. That was the absolute pinnacle. There was a couple of people there, like, was it Danny, Anake? There's some really nice, sort of, like I said, sort of veterans there of the comic book world. And again, my comic book shop did the amazing thing where they actually gave a goodie bag of a lot of different things. So I just want to quickly just show you that. I've literally only just had a quick look through it to myself, actually. So there is a beautiful, I believe it's a Ben Oliver cover of Crossover, which was a Donny Cates book. I want to say it's about a year old or so now. But that absolutely stunning cover. It's not a book I've read yet, but I do actually really want to get around to reading it. Then we have the Dawn of DC Primer that just talks about the DC characters. We have one from Marvel, Strange Academy. That's number 1 there. Then we have something that is very random. I can't get this out because it's just too big. But this is actually a Planet of the Apes poster from Marvel. So that's different. Not too sure how well that would go down. And then there was this really random book in there called The 77? And I had a brief look through it, and it just looks so incredibly random from that front cover. But I was talking to one of the guys there, and he was explaining to me that this is, I believe it's the number 1 issue that they released, and this was actually set up by people who were massive fans of 2000 AD. So they wanted to do something new, start their own kind of thing. And you can really see it within the stories that are within the pages, that you can see the resemblance. So I think it's a very, very cool thing. I will definitely give that a read to see what they sort of like anthology of stories are like, and see if it's going to be worth me potentially picking up an issue too. But let's get to it. The best things for me. I'm going to start off with this. I did take my copy of Reckless with me, and I said I spoke to Sean, and I did ask him to sign that. So that is now copy 1 of Reckless, signed by Mr. Sean Phillips. Now, obviously, I did meet Jacob Phillips, and again, I did spend a long time talking to him. Incredibly nice guy. Like, I hand on heart, I can't think of a nicer person within the industry. Let me put that aside just really quickly. I was very, very lucky that he did actually have a copy of the Enfield Gang Massacre on his stall. This is a spin, as it says there. It is a spin-off of that Texas Blood. Now, I've actually absolutely adored that Texas Blood, and I do think that, I believe it's the last arc, the 3rd arc, was probably the strongest one of the entire series so far. It was absolutely phenomenal, and I'm in 2 months. I'm a little bit disappointed that they've gone on to do other things just to give that Texas Blood a bit of a break. But considering I have now read this, I'm blown away. This is set in the same county. It's set in Ambrose County as that Texas Blood, but this is actually 150 years before the events of that Texas Blood, and it details, as it says, the Enfield Gang. You know, it's just a very quick thing that was said in, I think it was one of the early issues of that Texas Blood. And again, Jacob was telling me about this, and he said that he spoke to Chris and was like, are we ever going to get to find out a little bit more about it? And Chris was like, I don't know. And it kind of developed from there. So I think it's a really interesting thing that this has only really come about because Jacob was asking the question. But I will say, like, again, I spoke to Jacob about this. That front cover is exceptional. That's so beautiful. And also, I do know, is it this side? Yeah, it is this side. So issue number 2 is a connecting cover where you've got the cover there, and I believe issue 3 is going to be there. So he was also telling me the struggles that he's done with that, because he didn't paint it all or draw it all in one go, that he's had to do it in installments. So it's really difficult to match up the colours. I feel incredibly cheeky in saying this, but the guy that I was with, he purchased a copy of Newburn, and Jacob said, oh, let me just do a bit of a doodle inside. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I wish you'd do something for me. And I asked him, would you be able to do? And he did. He did a little doodle for me inside that. So I am absolutely humbled, and I cannot thank him enough for that, because that was a just amazing thing. I did then talk to the comic book shop owner, and said that I really want to have the Enfield Gang Massacre on my pull list. And he said, well, because of that, I'll be getting this very nice poster and then this disc plate that, again, is also signed by both of them. But obviously, before I left the con, I asked Jacob to sign my poster there. But I will say probably the most expensive thing I got from the Comicon was... Now, this is Ethan Reckless, drawn by Sean Phillips. I have never in my life purchased a print from an artist, because for me, I look at it as like, I'd love to just get the comic signed. But I will say, I think this is stunning. Absolutely stunning. And like I said, I've loved this character of Ethan. Absolutely love this character. So I think that might just potentially have to go up there with my very special things. My very, very special Amazing Spider-Man 1 and then Ultimate Spider-Man 1. I think that might just go in the middle as a nice little break up from Spider-Man. Have Ethan just staring out the window like that. But yeah, come on, Ethan. You don't want to do that. But yeah, that was nice con. I am a little bit disappointed that I won't be going back tomorrow. But I just don't have the time. I have too much stuff to do. But I feel rejuvenated again, and I feel like I should just sit down and read that in one go, or read the latest Reckless book. Or maybe a little bit cheeky, I did promise Jacob that I would wait to read issue 2. But I do have a preview of issue 2, and I might just have to read that. But I cannot thank Bub and everyone from Close Encounters enough. Close Encounters in Bedford, Northampton, Peterborough. Those are the guys that put on NiceCon every year. They do a phenomenal job. They get some amazing talent to come there. And I will say Sean and Jacob Phillips were my absolute highlight of this one, without a doubt. They've gone up there to me with like the Scott Snyder as being some of the nicest people I've ever met within the industry. And I will honestly, I will cherish these things for a long time to come. So guys, if you are around by any chance tomorrow, drop in the Bedford Corn Exchange, go see everyone. But definitely, if you get a chance, drop into Close Encounters, either in Bedford, Northampton, or Peterborough. The guys are incredibly nice. They know exactly what they're talking about, and they have got some amazing comics there. And also, if you can pick yourself up a copy of the N4 Gang Massacre, because I know my local one completely sold out. They as soon as they come in, gone, absolutely gone. But this book is exceptional. I would say it's on par with that Texas Blood, if not maybe slightly better. But yeah, pick yourself up a copy. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it really does help me out. And I'll see you all in the next video.